welcome back to Two Kims,
One Pod.
We are your hosts, Peter Kim.
And I am Eunji Kim.
But guess what? We are going to be in the East Coast, baby. Two Kims are coming to an East Coast city near you. So if you are in Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, or Boston, you're in luck because those are our first three stops. Mm-hmm. And I'm so excited for these three cities. Okay, so tickets are currently on sale.
Yes.
So Pittsburgh, go right now, August 2nd. Philadelphia is August 3rd. And Boston is August 5th. And all of them are going to be at the City Winery in your city, in your local City Winery. So go to the City Winery website, citywinery.com, and get your tickets because we're going to be there. I'm so excited. And we are narrowing down our local favorite comics in your areas. Also, by the way, listeners, if you have favorite comics that you want to see featured on your on tour, when you're coming out to see us, get up in the DMs.
Yeah, just DM us.
We're
very available.
Yeah, we're
the ones reading it.
I'm constantly pulling the DM thing down and releasing it to see if there has been updates. So DM us, email us, whatever, in any platform. We're on all of them. We have a couple of ones nailed down for Pittsburgh, which I'm so excited about.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, so go out and get those tickets. And also, if you don't live in those areas, just tell your friends. If that's your hometown, tell your enemies, tell your school teachers. We're a fun time. And City Winery, so there's going to be booze, but not like hard booze. You're wining and dining. It's going to be a vibe.
Yeah, it's a soft wine. It's soft.
Yeah,
everything about it is soft. Everything about it is luxe. It's good chairs. It's good lighting. It's going to be, you can dress up and go out. It's all the things you want in an evening.
Yeah, in an evening out.
Yes,
with your two favorite Kims. So go get your tickets. Anyway, so speaking of shows, first of all, I want to ask you about. I've been away. Mm-hmm. I'm finally back in LA, so I feel like I've been blabbing about my experience in Vancouver and just being out. But I'm realizing we haven't really caught up on what you've been doing in the last,
month?
Few weeks. Yeah, last month. And so I want to know, how is everything going for you? How are your kids? How is summer? What's it looking like for a Jewish Korean mom in Chicago? What's that life like?
I've forgotten, your experience with summer as a child is so much so closely tied to the idea of freedom and being unburdened and unfettered by sort of your unbridled by your scholastic requirements, school, all the school, school books, no more teachers' dirty looks. You're free, and you get to be.
I've never heard that, but it's a great rhyme.
You're done with all of that, and you do get to be free. And as a child, summer is when you really get to watch so much television, and it's just it's your
endless
child
TV you don't even need to watch.
Exactly.
You're watching Sally Jesse Raphael just because you're this bitch got red glasses on,
and she's got stuff to say. Is she a journalist? I don't understand.
Bitch, she looks smart to me.
She looks smart to me. Same thing with Donahue.
Looks like a brown lady.
Yes. Yeah. It's like same thing with Donahue.
Yeah. Donahue.
This is a journalist. Yes. What's happening?
Daytime TV used to be journalist adjacent, and going into soft political social issues.
What these
and then
emo kids
Ricky Lake came along and just changed everything.
And then it was what it was. I mean, same thing with Jerry Springer. It represented a very specific time of freedom, but now. I'm on the other side of it. It is it's such an intense time where you have to plan for and account for all of the time your child has. Our parents didn't care.
The summer.
Yes.
For your child.
Yes.
That's something I never even thought about.
Exactly.
How crazy is that?
Because our parents never provided a summer.
You have to curate these bitches' summers.
But our parents never did. So I don't have any. You know how some
they
of
were we're working, so go find a Bible study or a church camp to get lost in.
I went with my parents to the store. That's what I did most of summers when I was young.
You sat at the store.
I sat at the store. I was just in the dry cleaners doing Kumon pages, and then going and doing something occasionally. Sometimes I once got a scholarship
reading
to something.
a book, possibly.
Exactly, reading a book, watching the same television, but just with them because I was too young. And then when I was old enough, you just stay at home, you do the same thing, but you're not doing anything, and that's my
But
parents.
now you got to provide the summers.
Because,
okay, so what kind of summer
I could,
are you providing for your kids?
This is the problem. I'm still. I
Get into it.
I didn't sign them up in time for.
Girl,
actual.
It's June 26th.
I know. I did. When I didn't. When I say I was late. When I signed them up, I neglected to sign them up. April. All the shit was booked up already. April.
By April.
April.
This shit is crazy.
It's crazy.
So
it's
wait,
crazy.
every single camp has been booked up?
Well, the one that he had been to, the one that we go
The one
to,
that he wants to go to.
But then I have
Which is what? Like space camp or something like that?
No, it's like a Jewish camp in Chicago. So it's like
that sounds fun.
It is fun.
When my Jewish friends used to come to school and talk about their summer camp stories, I would get so fucking jealous.
Yes.
And be like, I wish I was Jewish. Fucking, we go to revival camp and we have to praise God
everything about it. It's a lock-in. It's a lockdown. It's
everything about Korean church camp is so harsh.
Yeah.
And it's work. It's laborious.
It is. It's
even
it's, in the language. Yeah. It's a lock-in. It's a lockdown. You are stuck there. And locked. Yeah. And the only other camp I went to was
free.
It's about.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, so then the only other camp I went to was for orchestra, and I got a scholarship for that because it's expensive. And after that, I'm just, you're just roaming the streets of your town, looking for, a pickup string quartet to practice with. But there was, your basic childhood of an American child. What? I mean,
You're just trolling around for chamber music.
Who's got sheet music? Who's got sheet music? I think after
what an
I turned,
unrelatable thing to talk about.
I just think when I look back on it, after I turned 10, you were in charge of figuring out what you were going to do for the summer. I figured out what things to sign up for. I got the permission slips and I got, the money together. Yeah. That's what happened. But this child...
Bitch, what you need, what you need? You need to not be... Because I don't think you can do it better. Mm-hmm. You just need to get a store. So you blame your bad mothering on that. You know what I mean? That's what's missing in your life is a store. But let's do it your way, like an Etsy. So it's a digital store. You know what I mean?
I have an Etsy shop.
So it's still kage. You still have a kage excuse. But so for your kid, because I couldn't sign you up by April. I was my mind that everything is about the kage. And for you, you know what this is for? The kage is for you.
You think I want to knit? You think I want to knit these pot holders? I'm knitting them for you.
For you.
For us.
Look at these hands. Gnarled hands.
It's just that sort of reality is. So I fucked up and I didn't sign him up in time. I could only get him in for the second session. So I've been scrambling.
How did he react? Is he upset or?
No, because he's my son. So he was kind of like, oh. He reminds me of stuff. He's just like, don't forget. Yeah. This is the thing. You've forgotten before. I've gone to school without permission slips. I didn't have a yearbook this year.
It's gotta be tough to be your kid.
To have someone with ADHD and bouts of depression. Yeah, I'm sure it's not easy. He's like,
it can't be a walk in the park.
No, so whatever. I'm doing my best.
You're doing great, but yeah.
Whatever. He's got a fucking favorite kind of mango. He's fine. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Is it green mango?
No, it's a champagne mango. It's the Filipino mango,
This bitch is eating champagne mangoes. Get the fuck out of here.
And not only that,
book your own camp, bitch.
Yeah. But it's not just that. Specifically, it's the dried version of that mango, which is it's called the Amelie mango.
God. Do you know how much it takes to fucking dehydrate food? This
kid
is living at large.
I remember the first time I had a mango. This bitch doesn't know of a time before mango. There's no before mango for him. Life is only after mango. Yeah, there's only AM.
It's only AM. Yeah,
he's
no
awake.
PM.
He's awake. And I'm living in the BM, bowel movements. And like,
Same. I'm praying for one. No, I'm good.
okay, I was going to ask.
Travel usually fucks me up, but
yes,
it's been okay. It's been okay.
That's good.
Yeah,
but
I'm off alcohol. I think that's really helping. Anyway, back to your summer.
Wait, so you're off alcohol just like since when?
I can't really remember, so I'll say beginning of this year.
Wow, so you have just like
I've cut it out.
It was a
even
conscious
casually.
choice.
Yeah, because I wasn't drinking too much anyway, but I started. I realized that like I would be in situations where people would be drinking, just like we're meeting at a bar or like after work we're going out somewhere, and where else do you go but a bar? You know,
Sure.
it's just the culture.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, all right, I'll have a mezcal something because I like mezcal or smoky, whatever. And I would just be drinking just to like fit in.
Sure.
and I was like turning 40 and I realized like, oh, like why am I still doing this thing to fit in when I don't do really anything else, or like not much else to fit in, really.
Right.
You know, I've really kind of like grown out of that thing of like trying to fit in and doing it even if I don't really want to do. Like I've cut most of that behavior out except for the drinking. I still like subconsciously accept drinks and order drinks even though like I know I'm not going to feel good afterwards. My face always gets flushed, the Asian flush. Like I know it's going to happen, but like I eke through it. It's like how you when your teeth were falling out or whatever. You remember when you were having like teeth issues and you're like, it's fine, I'll suffer. You know, like that's how I treat alcohol. So like, I was just like, why? What am I doing? Like, who's looking at me going like, oh, this bitch ain't drinking? And I realized it is a very much a Korean thing. Like, 술 마시는 게 like 술제주, right? Like knowing how to drink. Learning to drink. These are all like
parts of growing up,
of life.
Like they're developmental markers. They're milestones.
Markers. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And there's a patriarchal culture around drinking in Korean society.
Turning away from turning
away and drinking, not making eye contact, being servile even though you're like 3 months apart. You know what I mean? Like it's keeping each other in check, and there's a lot of hazing.
Yes.
That's also patriarchy. Like, so drinking itself has kind of like snuck into my life and my body and still clings onto that, like those patriarchal bones of like why I still accept drinks, because like I don't want to be a quote bitch ass or like not be one of us. Like, why are you being different? You know, that kind of thing. You know, so like.
Anyway, it was like, this intentional. It was this intentional. You came to this realization. It was an intentional choice you made at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, to like stop
talked about it
casually drinking. I haven't talked about it at all.
No, I mean I kind of mentioned that you mentioned
about like not drinking.
Yeah, you didn't. You mentioned that
I
you
just stopped and
drinking.
I just kept stopping. You know, like because I was like, well, it's easy to stop drinking if you're always at home, which I am.
Sure.
Because we just don't have alcohol at home.
Yeah.
So it's not present, so we don't drink, right?
Right.
But like, how often do I go out? I don't go out that much. But like for Vancouver, I had to go out. I was out with cast and crew. Like we were seeing the city.
Yeah.
So we were having nice dinners. People were ordering cocktails. Like, so I'm literally ordering soda and bitters.
Yeah.
So, and
a great option, by the way, for anyone like kind of like exploring sort of sober curious. It's a great option to order at a bar. It's what I used to order when I was pregnant. Yeah.
And sober curious just happens to be, I think, in right now, as in like a fad.
It is.
Right? Because there's a lot of stuff coming out about alcohol being like very detrimental and blah, blah.
For sure.
Anyway, so it's really not even about like, oh my God, like carcinogens or whatever. It's not even about health for me. It's more about like it's more about taking stock of like my behaviors of like, why do I do what I do? Like, and this is one of those things that I left unquestioned because it was so deeply ingrained.
Yeah, it's fundamental. It's very fundamental.
Yeah,
like once you become an adult, once you turn 21, socialized.
To socializing. Like even like, where do you even go with other adults at night?
Yeah.
I just don't even know. Like, there's no other option.
It's either
to,
an
like,
alley.
Congregate.
Yeah, it's either an alley or it's a bar.
Or a revival or whatever. You know, like you're going to church. You know, like that's what I did when I was in high school or whatever because I didn't go out to drink, so I congregated at church because that was where you hung out. And then
I was a Barnes and Noble gal. Yeah.
Oh, me too. I loved sitting at a Barnes and Nobles, and I would always be in the sci-fi section because no one else came there. And
I mean, literally, no one came there.
I love sci-fi.
Yeah.
No one came. No one's come. No one who's reading sci-fi was coming. For a long time. Yeah.
Not with anybody.
No, definitely alone a lot. Your poor mothers, our poor mothers.
Those pages are sticky.
But anyway, yeah, exactly. Anyway, so it's been and I also don't like go around being like, man, summer. Like, it's not a thing that I identify with.
For sure.
It's not like I have nothing to say to you about it. It's just something I'm doing. You know, it's like, I don't know, going to the gym. It's the same thing. Like, I'm not going around being like, at the gym again. You know, like, I'm just going because I feel like I want to keep up a certain amount of health or whatever. You know, like, it's just something I'm like starting to realize that now as an adult. You know, I was telling my youngest brother this, and I'll stop talking, but he was asking me about like if I remembered when I was in college, I came back home and read his journal and teased him about having a crush on a girl. And I was like, I have
You read
no
his
recollection
journal?
of that.
You read his journal?
Apparently, me and my middle brother both read his journal. And I don't even know if it was journal. It was like a piece of paper or something.
Sure.
I don't think I would like go through his journal. That feels icky to me. But who knows? I was an icky person. So maybe I did do that. I'm not saying I didn't. I just don't remember. And he was like, yeah, when you did that, it was so traumatic for me. But like you guys were just like laughing it off like it was nothing. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I do not remember this. And let me tell you, that's happened to me. Like my cousin teased me about a girl I had a crush on in kindergarten, and that really stuck with me too. So like I just want to say like I understand and I'm sorry. And on top of that, I am sure my intent was that like, oh, my little brother, how cute is this that he has a crush, not like to embarrass you. Like that's not, I just don't think that's, I don't know, maybe I would. That would be my intent, to embarrass him. But like, I don't know, that just feels mean. But anyway. And I said this to him, and he was like, yeah, you know, don't stop trying to like walk it back, whatever, you know, like, giving me some shit about it. And I'm like, you're right. I shouldn't walk it back. This is your experience. And I do apologize. But I will say that I have, as you grow up, he's 11 years younger than me. So he's like a full, like 2 generations almost, right?
Sure.
Maybe like a full generation.
It's a generation, yeah.
And, culturally. And I was like, listen, you're going to realize that like as you get older, you're going to start hearing the things that mom and dad used to tell us that used to fucking annoy the shit out of us. And you're going to be like, oh my God, why am I like understanding them all of a sudden? Like you're just going to start, that's becoming old. And I'm realizing that now. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, you know, in high school, I hated that my mom told me to make the bed before leaving for school. And I would argue with her and scream and kick and, you know, just be upset about the fact that I had to make my bed. And, you know, the classic thing of like, I'm just going to get back in it, you know, that thing.
Yeah.
So, and now I'm realizing that like, I just wanted to rebel because and I didn't understand why it meant anything to make your bed. But now I never leave my bed without making it because
it makes me feel psychotic if I don't.
Crazy. Like
Makes me
I'm
feel
a
crazy.
animal.
Yes.
You know, so like, but that didn't happen overnight. That took years and years. Like even when I was doing comedy in Chicago with you, I was you know, like I didn't even have a bed. I was in my hammock era. You know, so like
hammock era. I'm sorry. There's never a time you're gonna say that I don't laugh.
It's so pathetic.
Just to know that there is an era in your life that you have to deem hammock. Like
a full 365 that I was in a hammock instead of a bed. A full,
your hammock
freestanding one.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was telling him like that's something that I would have never come to this conclusion. Even if my mom yelled it in my ears for 100 days straight, like you know, like I just would not have understood it until I understood it.
Yes.
And those are just things you're gonna like. You're not going to get that until you get old, you know.
I mean,
but anyway, that
at all, yeah. I mean, so
hopefully,
yeah. Oh wait, sorry. Go.
No, I was just gonna say, hopefully your kid really realizes how much you're doing for him.
Okay, so we were just watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles today. Now, I don't know if you remember this movie. I didn't recall. I just remember the phenomenon.
Wait, the original?
The
first
original,
one?
yes. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, 1990.
Course, yeah.
1990.
Classic.
Yes. And, you know, I just remember the phenomenon around it. I honestly don't think I remembered the movie itself explicitly. And this is what's different, right? Because you're right. My son, the shit that comes out of my mouth, the experiences, how often in my mind I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why am I feeling empathy for my parents right now? Why is this why is this happening? I did not ask for this. They don't need my empathy. I actually need to create more empathy for myself. But like, you know.
Who's empathizing for me?
Oh my God. Fucking annoying. But like, so that happens all the time. I grant you that, and it's 100% accurate. But let me tell you what's a little different, and this is growth, and this is the monies and what health insurance can do for a life. We're watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the Foot Clan that Shredder is creating, the army of children he's creating. They're all like hoodlums and vagabonds and
orphans.
And runaways, and they're no good kids, and they're responsible for this crime spree across unspecified city. And there's this shot of like kids like running away and then getting to this like the lair of Shredder and the Foot Clan, and it's all kids who just get to do whatever they want, right? You're getting to like smoke cigarettes and play like
skateboard.
Go on a skateboard and blah blah. And we're watching it, and I can see my son's eyes sort of lighting up, and like kind of seeing this like beautiful world where kids just get to do whatever they want. And I pause it and I say, like, you know, you just said I want you to see this and understand like what the cost is for a person to be doing whatever they want as a child. Right?
No. Let this kid enjoy a damn movie. Why are you doing this to him?
No.
Why are you doing this to him? He can't even enjoy a damn movie.
And I'm like, this is the cost. This is the cost. And it's like, and do you think that this Shredder loves these kids? Because this is the lesson at the end of the movie. And it's like, he's like, no. And then my son very calmly looks at me and goes, well, it could be said the skateboarders are doing some exercise. I'm like, begrudgingly, I'm like, I guess.
Attaboy.
I'm like, begrudgingly, I'm like, I guess that's true. But the circumstances in which they are being allowed to skateboard.
Let's zoom out for a second.
Let's zoom out. And just recognize what the exercise
you
is.
You just getting like completely owned by your 7-year-old son.
Like in an argument.
Like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to need a second to regroup, and I'll be back. With a better point.
In a contest of wits, and like he's really besting me. But
truly, that is hilarious.
But it's like also we have the capacity, like that moment with your brother where we also apologize, and we also I always explain why I'm being hard on him about something.
Crazy.
I explained to him, you have to fucking make your bed because this is a thing that's important to you, like if you want to show us and the house respect, like it's not just me screaming at him over and over again, why don't you do this?
Yeah.
Why won't you do this? Do this right now. And the thing is, the argument is essentially the same, but it feels less like deus ex machina.
Arbitrary?
Yes, like the hand of God just like coming in and like providing you this like punitive measure and this like crazy ask with no context. So even if he were to look back on it, there at least inside of that interaction, he would recall me being like, "This is why." Like you hate it, and we are still having the same argument that we had with our parents about it. But at least
I'm giving you reason. I'm giving you backup facts,
and I'm not screaming at you over and over again.
Yeah.
Like there's like actual consequences immediately, and if you don't, then there's this. And I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to yell at you about it. That's fucking crazy. Like I literally look at him. I was like, it's not my bed. Like I don't care. I mean,
this
like
is about you, bitch.
It's about you. Like it's not my bed.
Has this been working?
Yes.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Look at that.
Because,
look at that. Okay.
I mean, it's just
Korean
like
moms out there, take note.
Because I mean, he's also 7. He's not like when he was 3 or 4, it was crazy. But he's also 7 now, so he's kind of like, well, fine. And there's
he
real
knows
things.
Stakes. He knows consequences.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's harder.
7 is when you start developing the like brain's areas for abstract thought.
And he's abstracting.
Also,
he's abstracting. Like, for real. He's like constantly asking me how much stuff costs, how he can get more money. Yeah. He like recently told a friend of mine,
he is his mother's son. Yeah. So capitalist to a T.
Oh, by the way, I scribbled this down when you're talking about your like kind of sober lifestyle. The thing I really enjoy about it, and like I think why I really strongly identify with it, because I literally was just having this conversation with my therapist about kind of exploring maybe not being as invested in drinking or like detaching myself from that behavior is so much in our current culture requires you to have an identity. Like it's like once you are this and you're actually a sober person, or if you are working out, now you're like a gym person. Like that is your brand and it is your identity. And it's so tightly closely tied to like behaviors versus extricating it. Because what you were talking about is like you were questioning whether or not this behavior had anything to do with who you really are. You're not being defined by the behavior. Like you are extricating the two things. And that I really do identify with. Like because I think there's a part of me that is reluctant to like be a sober person because I don't want to be a sober person. I don't even know
what that means.
Like,
what does that mean?
It's like someone that kind of like makes this like
a vegan.
Yeah, like it makes it their identity.
It's
like
the new vegan.
Yes, for sure.
I get that.
Sober is definitely the new vegan.
It's the new vegan.
It's the new vegan. It's the reason why I don't even like to talk about how it's the same reason why I don't even like to talk about exercise. How like when I do start
that's
exercising.
Exactly what I mean. Like I'm not talking about like I don't want you to engage with me in that kind of level where it's like, oh, we're the same type of person, right? It's like no. I just do these things.
I do these things.
I do these things. This is part of my day. Like it's just not like my whole thing.
My identity is actually way more heinous, and like you won't like it. It has nothing to do with this. You know, I've got crazy opinions about anything. Ask me a question. Trust. Listen
to my podcast. We've been dragged into reviews, but by the way, leave us a review. A 5-star would be great. It really helps with the algo. We're talking about a half hour in. But I got the other thing I realized about not drinking is that when I was out doing shows, that was the biggest thing. I think for me is
that's
going to
be hard for me. Yeah.
Yeah, because I would be out and they would either pay me in drinks, as you know, or have drink tickets or blah, 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 whatever. So, you know, when you have drink tickets, you're like, what the fuck? Am I not going to use these? Am I stupid?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's free. So I started not using them, and I realized that my shows were getting better. My sets were getting better because I wasn't drinking on stage.
Yeah,
Or
I don't drink on stage. I really, I like.
I was drinking
yeah.
on stage.
I would.
I was
I
drinking
take a
pre.
drink. No, I never drink pre. I would drink.
I was drinking pre and then on stage and off stage. That's what I mean. I'm like,
yeah.
why am I doing all that?
I mean, I've started to
And-
drink. I've started to drink or take a drink on stage with me.
Yeah.
But I'll sip it during my set. But then I don't really. But it's for me the ritual of drinking after the set to either come down or celebrate. You know, either celebrate or commiserate whatever the set is.
Yeah.
And like the drink is so central to it. And
Yeah.
once you extricate the behavior,
You need
from,
something.
Yeah,
You need something.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do a
'cause I'm
Diet Coke
smoking-
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still smoking weed. I don't smoke weed before my set though.
Sure. Yeah.
I do it after my set as like a come down and like a end of the day relax type of thing. So it is kind of like my beer, you know?
Yes.
But like I enjoy that. Like beer, I don't enjoy, or like alcohol. And so it was just a thing of like, what do I enjoy? What do I not enjoy? And why am I putting it in my mouth? Same thing is happening with beef. You know, it's a similar thing where I'm like,
what do you mean,
am I eating
having
it
beef?
because-
Or
like
meat.
eating beef.
Oh, okay. Like the actual cow.
Yeah, having beef.
I was like, I can't believe that.
Of keeping fights. You're like, your favorite pastime?
Yeah, I'm like, that's awesome. I don't know.
No, like eating beef, just eating, everything. I'm doing like a thing of everything I'm doing. Like, what am I eating? What am I smoking? What am I drinking? What am I putting in my body? What stuff like that. Like, I'm just like taking a whole survey, if you will.
You stopped eating red meat?
I'm questioning it. I'm wondering,
What are you wondering?
do I need it? Is it making me feel good? Are my shits good afterwards? These are things I ask. It's the same thing with alcohol. Like every time I drank alcohol, my shits were runny and nasty and, you know, and then of course the drinking, it's not just drinking. You drink and then you eat.
Yeah.
Right? And then usually something like I'm going to K-Town eating something spicy, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So it's a multiple, it's like layers of things that's happening because of that one decision. So it's like, what am I doing? Also this red meat thing, like why am I feeling shitty after I eat like beef? And it's good beef. Why am I feeling shitty? You know, so like I'm trying to figure out like what's making me feel shitty, what's not, and trying to question like, why am I eating this? Am I eating this because I am trained to eat it, or is it because I really want it in my mouth?
What are you coming to? I love it in my mouth.
I love it. It tastes delicious.
Yeah.
But like, when do I need it? Do I need it every day? Do I need it only when I'm craving it? Am I buying it because I feel like I'm going to need it later? You know, it's stuff like that. You know, like I just go shopping the way I shop because I'm like, well, we're going to need meat. You know, like
How often are you having red meat in a week? Or were you?
Does pork count?
No. But pork is still meat.
Pork, beef, chicken.
Yeah.
I'm eating throughout the week.
But I mean red meat specifically. This is what you're targeting, right? Beef. How often are you eating that?
Yeah. Maybe twice a week.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like, why am I eating this if it's only twice a week and I always shit weird?
You
know, it's
always
stuff like
shit
that.
weird after you have red meat.
It's not a good shit. It's not a great shit. And I never shit bad on chicken.
What about pork?
Or fish. Fish. I shit great on fish.
Well, everybody
You know?
shits great on fish. What are you talking about? Of course.
That's what
yeah,
I mean.
Yeah.
I like to, I'm trying to shit good. That's the point. I'm trying to have good shits.
You're trying to.
That's
You're
like-
trying to only have good shits. You don't ever want to
I'm
have
trying
bad
to have
shits.
great shit. I'm sick of bad shits. I really am. It's really taking me out. I don't like it. And this like comedian lifestyle was really a bad shit situation.
This is
Lot of
true.
alcohol,
Yes.
late nights,
Yes.
eating greasy.
Yes.
You know, like it just became a like it was from a molehill to a mountain type of situation. Where like, oh man, like I really like banged up my body that way. because like it was a pattern that I just never like questioned. I was like, I'm out at a comedy club, I drink.
Yeah.
And then I get more drinks afterwards because I'm on an adrenaline high.
Yeah.
And then now I'm sufficiently tipsy, and now I have munchies.
Now you
So I
gotta
gotta
get
get
tacos.
noodles or some kind of cheese
Yeah,
or
yeah.
taco or like something salty in my body because it's craving that, you know? And then the cycle continues. Anyway, this is not me on a pedestal. I'm just saying this is what I am experiencing and what I'm trying to figure out. Like, if this, then that, you know? Like, if I'm questioning if I'm putting, alcohol in my body, am I also questioning, am I putting beef and cheese into? I know cheese is bad for me, but like I eke through it. It's like one of those things where it's like, how can I not have cheese, Parmesan, freshly, shaved on this al dente orecchiette? Like, I have to eat it. I have to.
It's actually disrespectful.
It's disrespectful. It's like someone ordering kimchi jjigae and be like, I can't eat the kimchi. Like, can you take the kimchi out? Like,
what?
No. You're doing the thing.
The jjigae is made of kimchi.
I know. So I'm at my like final boss with food right now because food is like the thing that I cannot like circumvent because it's so important to me.
Let me ask. Well, this, even
and
with
I get so much
anything,
satisfaction out of it. Like
yes, that's
sometimes
the thing.
I feel like I could like almost orgasm through food. That's how much it like
because it's true joy. It's unbridled
it's joy.
True joy. And okay. I understand that, like, any people that's
those things. It's like
I understand
heroin highs are like great, but like, do we really need? It's just that kind of thing.
But it's not. It can't be compared to drugs or other sort of addictions that way because you do still need to eat. You do still.
No. When it's bad, when it's bad, like cheese.
So
like, it's a bad result.
But
you're still doing it.
But there's still like a moment where you can. This is my question, though, then to you, right? When we talk about food and you're talking about is it worth it, like when you think about the net joy ROI, the net ROI on that interaction, and I'm talking from tip to taint. So when it gets into your fucking mouth,
and then when it shreds out as water.
So the net. Gain
experience is that a positive?
Is it
or
a
not?
Positive or negative? And you're
that's what's teetering right now. It was always positive until just recently.
The
body changes. That's what happens. Your body is actively decaying. It can't fight certain things anymore.
I mean, I agree with you. Like for me, I agree with you because I am someone that is very much. I cut out a lot of like gluten and dairy and like all these things that like for me inflammation and I had like my
inflammation is my thing. I'm walking around bloated, bitch.
Yes.
Like I'm not feeling good.
Like I could tell you right now if I have like a like a cheesy dip in the course of me having 3 or 4 scoopfuls.
Queso? Bitch, queso will ruin my entire month.
My rings can't come off. Like even inside of 3 scoops, as I'm having the scoops, I haven't even shit it out yet. The sodium
alone
immediately gets me. The dairy gets me.
Yeah.
The gluten gets me, and I know that. But for me, there are some experiences where the net, in spite of how badly I will feel for about a day or two afterwards, it's still worth it for me. I can't.
You know what has just crossed the threshold for me?
What?
And this is only while I live in California. This does not apply if I'm in New York. Pizza. I know. And I've tried the vegan pizzas. It's disgusting.
That's even more disgusting.
I won't do it. Yeah. I won't do it. So I'm just doing cold turkey. I had a pizza today I went to a WNBA game.
Cool.
The LA Sparks game.
Okay. Happy Pride.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Happy Pride. It was exhilarating.
Yeah.
Women playing basketball, I'll watch any day over any man playing anything.
They're giving. There's so much passing. It's an exciting game. Yes. Mm-hmm.
They help each other up when they like accidentally bump into each other. It's just beautiful.
So you can see what society could be.
It's sport.
Yes.
It's sport.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I go. There's a Blaze Pizza there, at the stadium because like there's not much else.
Of course,
it's like hot dogs and
the
chicken.
the
wings
Gap
or
of
whatever.
pizza. Okay.
Right. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess Blaze Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
It. When I tell you, I missed most of the game because that cheese on the Blaze Pizza shot through me. From halftime on, I was blowing.
2 quarters
2 quarters
of a
worth
professional basketball game.
women playing basketball.
Professionally.
And this man is missing most of it because his hole's on fire.
That's not an ally. That's not an ally.
Shit was ablaze.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Okay, so, and that experience alone, I was like, what am I doing? This pizza's not even good.
Yeah.
And I'm just shoving it into my mouth because it's there. And then here I am, blowing chunks.
Here I am.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's moments like that in a 41-year-old's life where you take stock and you go, what am I doing this for? So
yeah, that's a negative.
Yeah.
You're operating at a loss. Your business
I'm
is
at
you're
I'm at
losing
a net
business.
loss.
Yeah.
I'm in the red.
Yeah, you're in the red.
And I'm not talking about the blood.
No.
Okay.
No. And
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
I mean, if you're operating at a net loss in terms of joy, especially around food, then that's
that part.
Because that's a fact. Because joy is like
That's
food
fine.
is so closely tied to joy.
I know. That I don't want it ruined.
Yeah,
I don't
do
want
get
it
that.
ever sorry for the pun, but I don't want it ever tainted. You know. I apologize in advance.
And it still didn't help.
It didn't cover it.
It didn't cover it. It's like farting in someone's face and then saying sorry. Like you still farted in my face. Like, thanks for apologizing. Like,
But can we process what you just did?
I mean,
Let's read the crime out loud. What's the indictment?
I mean, I do get that. I mean, it's exciting that you are.
I did see how upset your eyes got when I said pizza. I was giving up pizza in California. It's a huge addendum because no one ever does pizza right here anyway. So what's the point? That's the type of thing. Like that's when it's net negative, where it's like I'm going to eat Blaze pizza and blow chunks. Like that's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But like if it's a delicious fucking New York slice off the street, $2.99 with a Coke and then yeah, I'm gonna fucking blow chunks, but it's gonna be delicious going down the throat. So like, that's the kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, when people say, "Oh, all pizza is great pizza," wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's just wrong. Not for me. If you're lactose intolerant, not all pizza is created equal. There's some pizza that is just worth being an excruciating anal pain for, but that wasn't it.
Yes, and I know the places. I as someone who is lactose intolerant, as someone who's like gone on this anti-inflammatory sort of journey.
And you're a fucking international pizza judge.
I am an internationally.
I know.
I am an international.
That's
pizza
why
judge.
saying that to you was very difficult for me.
I mean, what's crazy is that they kept asking me like if I have any intolerances, and I am so desperate for a job where I was like, no, I'm fine.
You said no.
I said no.
Of course, I would say no too. Are you kidding me?
I was excited every day.
I'd be like, I'll deal with the pain later. I'll deal with the collapse.
And I did.
Yeah.
And I did. Like halfway.
Okay, did you eat lactate on the show? By the way, guys, if you don't know this, she's a judge on Best in Dough on Hulu, so you have to go check it out. Did you take any lactate on the show?
No, I took it raw. I experienced the entire thing raw. I used no protection. And
damn, you dirty bareback that pizza.
I did. I barebacked, raw dogged. And let me tell you, when I went home, and I would just like be alone and like.
You mean home? You mean the hotel in Burbank they put you up in?
The hotel they put me up in Burbank. The suite, very
basically
lovely.
A public space where you go back to you went back to a place where someone else was about to check into.
I mean, and the thing is, and I was, what's crazy is because I had given myself permission to really let loose on the show because I hadn't been having dairy. I was gluten free.
Yeah.
Like I was really being very good because I felt great, right? Because during that time when I was really working at it, I mean, Peter, when you start doing this and you start taking it away, you do feel like high. Because your body feels so good. You're shitting so well. You're like, and it creates an incentive. It creates an incentive for you to keep doing it because you're like, I feel great. So I had given myself permission to just like let go and let God on the show. And I mean, you know that like they repeatedly asked me to stop eating all of the pizza.
Yeah, like, that was a common thing. They were like, we need to go back and retape that. So for continuity's sakes, please stop eating.
But everyone else, because they're like, we're eating like 3 or 4 pizzas every single, like not even
round.
Yeah, round. Like, because they did one like express round and then one like big round. So it was like
actual round.
Yes, actual. Yeah. So it was like 6 actual pizzas.
Yeah.
Slices, and I was eating all of them, and the other judges clearly were just having bites and like tasting it a little bit.
Yeah.
I was just eating the full fucking slice, and truly, like,
you went back to the hotel,
and I would just explode. I would literally explode, and also over the course of the many days,
God.
like I felt worse.
Are you okay when you're exploding? Are you feeling at all like maybe this isn't worth it?
No.
You're like, I could do this for months.
I could do this for months. I wish they were using me.
Away.
I wish they were using me for more episodes.
You hear that, Hulu? This is how dedicated she is to her work. Okay, she is willing to put her body through immense, absolute torture.
Like where it's embarrassing, where like it wasn't okay. Because I would also go up.
They have to burn that room afterwards.
Oh, I mean,
there's no way. You shot for an entire week.
Like it was like a week and a half, and like at the end, I mean, I don't think I ever had the lady come in.
Oh my God!
I never had that because I was too embarrassed. I was like, "You're not."
Yeah, you had to put that thing on the door.
Yeah, like no, don't come in, because I had to start. Yeah, I mean, it was really gross. And what's crazy is like because you started doing that, and I kind of was going off the rails with food in that way. Like I was in a city that is known for tacos. Fully ordered Taco Bell 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Why?
You're not here for the real thing.
No. I'm here to feel bad. I'm here to actually ruin my body and life.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, before you actually know that about your body and create that like equation in your mind where you know that and aware, like you kind of have the illusion of ignorance, right? It's a veil of ignorance. Like you're kind of like, oh my God, what's happening? Like I don't understand my stomach. But once you clearly identify this, and
once you fucking know,
and you still make that choice,
it's hard.
That's chaos.
It's hard to justify that.
That's chaos. Yeah.
And you have to look at yourself in the mirror. No, ma'am.
So it creates
not
like
this pride.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So it it does create like a different sort of relationship you like with the food and with yourself regarding those foods, those choices. So
exactly.
I mean, it was
it's hard not to drink at shows and stuff, but it's been I've been like, it's been good, especially like, okay, let me wrap this up with like the Korean stuff, because I do think it is deeply embedded in me as like as a very young Korean person. I knew that I had to drink. Like that was my way of getting along with another Korean human. Like I just didn't know any other way besides like singing at the top of our lungs in a tiny room.
Yes.
But also
shaking a tambourine that lit up. Yeah.
Yes, correct. So it's something that I like. It would be hard for me to go to Korea even, right? Because like Korea is so driven by that, the nightlife, the club, you know, all of that, the booking, this and that, like everything. Not that I would go to a booking club, but like that kind of like culture is run by the industry, the bar industry, drinking industry, food industry. And you know how much I've been wanting to go to Korea.
Yes.
So I got to tell you, I texted you about this already, but I did Dumbfounded show. Dumbfounded is a comedy rap, not a comedy rap, battle rapper, but he's a comedian as well. He's very funny. He hosts a show called Cry Later in K-Town at this it's usually at this place I guess called Fountain, where it's a club. It's like a K-Town LA club.
Oh, with
where,
like Asian baby girls like teetering around in tube tops.
Bingo.
Ooh, okay.
That's like what it's usually. But for these once a month, there's all these folding chairs set up, and it's turned into a stand-up show. And
it's when the Asian baby girls wear a collared shirt over their tube top.
Yes, exactly. And then tone down the eyeliner.
They say they take off one layer of lashes. Okay, cool. Okay, I understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
I
they're
love
sitting.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, a lot of Asians at this show.
Yeah.
Obviously, he has a big Asian following, but it was a pretty mixed crowd.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you, there was this one drunk Asian girl screaming at the top of her lungs, and she was screaming because one comic said, "Oh yeah, like I grew up in OC," and she started screaming, "I'm from OC! I'm from OC!" And then her friend's like, "Oh my god!" Like so embarrassed.
Oh
and she's
my
like,
god.
"Shut the fuck up!
Yeah.
Shut up! Shut up!" And she's like, "No, stop!" Like she's so drunk, like, and in that like Korean American nasal accent
From
like,
OC,
I'm from OC.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my gosh.
Oh my god, I just got.
And it's just like, oh, 징그러워, like.
Hannah, shut up. Hannah, shut up.
Esther, shut the fuck up. I can't take you anywhere.
소라.
So annoying.
Okay.
소라야, 입 닥쳐. So, but like, I haven't been to a comedy show where like the heckling is a Korean girl.
Right.
So I'm like, oh my God. And then there were all these like other Asians in the front row, like talking back to the comics and being like real drunk. Like it was a lit ass show, but like you and I have been talking about, like people are really becoming vocal in the crowds. Please stop doing that. But it was such a cool experience because I was doing a couple of like new jokes about being sober or like, being alcohol free. And I was like, well, hey guys, well, I quit drinking. And there was a huge round of applause from these Koreans at that even premise.
Yeah.
And I was like, I felt really like safe and like, oh,
because
that's so cool. That's so cool that like,
they all know it's
like,
a problem. They all know it's a problem. That was after being like, we have a healthy relationship with alcohol. No Koreans like, yeah.
I don't know. I was expecting like some people to be like, yeah, boo, pussy, something.
No. They're all like,
but they were all very nice and be like, yeah, good for you.
You figured it out.
Stop talking about it because I feel bad. No, it was great. And it was such a super cool experience. And I did jokes in Konglish. Mm-hmm. So like first time I think ever where I was just talking about like how like drinking made me into like the worst type of Korean, and I would like, I'm like out of nowhere, if I drink too much, I'll just be like, "Opa," and I was like, instead of saying like "Aishiba," I'd be like, "I donkumong," and like 8 people laughed because like no one, even like Korean Americans don't even know Korean. So like it was just kind of like a silent moment. But there was a guy who came up to me afterwards after the show and was like, "Hey, you were really funny. I'm a comedy manager in Korea. Would you ever be interested in performing in Korea?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I've been dreaming about this.
Yes.
Like I would love to do this." And like, how cool would it be if we had 2 Kims go to Korea? Yes. So I followed him on Instagram, so we'll see what happens. But just the fact that he was like, "You doing jokes in Konglish, like this would kill in Korea." And apparently, like, we've been hearing about the comedy scene in Korea and Danny Cho and all that.
Yeah.
And how like it's really starting to become a scene now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm just like really.
Peter, and your Korean is
and
your Korean is very. It's good enough to do that. I mean, you've done other
it's conversational enough.
Conversation,
to do it.
and you also like your the level of like pun and like language jokes you can do, very much will kill with like expat community and people that are interested in comedy in Korea. Right? Because it's not...
because there's a little bit of like the salong about the comedy.
Yes.
Like the salong means kind of like corny or like whatever. Like
broad,
there's that kind
slapstick,
of... Yes, that I would bring to it because I'm bringing such a like obtuse language thing to it that it is all just turn of phrases or puns.
But they would love it.
They would love it because they're like, oh, how clever that you're doing that or something. So anyway, I would love to do a show in Korea. If you're in Korea and you're watching this, invite us to do a show. We would love to do a show in Korea.
I mean, it's really
I don't
incredible.
know how to make it happen, but
I
guess this is the first step.
We're asking you, please.
No, I meant meeting that comedy manager from Korea.
Please. Like, please.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all our show for today. Thank you so much for listening and hanging out with us. Check out the Patreon. Go to citywinery.com and look for tickets if you're in Pittsburgh, Philly, or Boston. August 2nd, 3rd, and 5th, we are on the road. Come see us.
And
We're so excited to meet
you'll
you.
if you come, you'll be experiencing an entirely new kind of show. Not only are Peter and I going to be doing stand-up comedy, and we'll have people doing stand-up comedy, but there will be a show, and Two Kims will be doing a version of the podcast at this show. So come on.
Yeah.
Check it out.
It's going to be awesome. Check it out. All right. Thanks for listening. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.